Okay, thank you for being with us here this evening. I'm Cynthia Sheng, Parish President of Jefferson Parish. Today is September 9th. We are here at the Emergency Operations Center in Gretna to talk about preparations for Tropical Storm Francine. So I want to thank Shari in our theme with the Deaf Action Center for being with us here today. I do have also Sheriff Joseph Lapinto, Council Chairman Scott Walker, who's going to speak on behalf of the council, as well as Dr. James Gray and Chief Operating Officer Patrick Jenkins. Councilman at Large Division A, Jennifer Van Rankin, is here, as well as Councilman from District 3, Byron Lee, and Councilman from District 5, Hans Liljeberg, and thank you, Senator Pat Connick, for also being here. And I'm going to end Councilwoman on time, just on time, with a great entrance, Councilwoman Arito Bohannon from Council District 4. And then I have many more speakers that I'll introduce them before they come up. So let me start off. I will sign a declaration of emergency today in preparation for this Francine that's coming up. We will also be calling for a mandatory evacuation for all areas outside the levee protection system. So we're talking about Grand Isle, Lafayette, Barataria, Crown Point, Lower Lafayette, due to the life-threatening storm surge that we're expecting with this storm event. You're here at the EOC. We're going to have this EOC partially activated tonight, and by tomorrow we will have a full activation of our Emergency Operations Center, as well as through Wednesday and until necessary. So we still have about 50 trailers throughout Jefferson Parish that were a result of Ida. Those trailers and those mobile homes will not be able to withstand the kind of winds that we're expecting for this storm. So we're going to open a pre-storm shelter that's going to be available at Terrytown Playground, 641 Heritage Avenue in Terrytown. And that will be open pre-storm for anybody who's currently living in a mobile home or a trailer. Residents need to bring their own food and water. We're going to have, it's going to be basic. It's going to be a sturdy shelter for you to ride out the storm, and we'll have cots. But you need to bring your own food and shelter. We want to advise everybody to stay off the roads. I listened to a National Weather Service briefing today. Really, everybody should just be in place by Tuesday night. Like, just stay home, shelter in place, Tuesday night, don't go out. Remember, we need your help. So the drainage system only works if it's working as it should, and we have a lot of catch basins, so do your neighbors a favor and somebody be the leader on your street and go clear out those catch basins. It makes a difference. Do not push the stuff down into the drainage system. Take it out and remove it, and it goes in the garbage, okay? Now's the time. We go through this all the time. Getting your family plan in place. You should be getting your prescriptions filled, having non-perishable food, water, your flashlights, your batteries, all those things. You want to go into the storm with all your devices charged. Remove your outdoor furniture or anything that could be used as, the storm could use it as a projectile. And specifically in Jefferson Parish, we have open canals that I'm always so very worried about, because I personally know what little water it takes for you to lose control of your car. It's not that much water, and your car is off the ground and you have no control over it. And that next to a overfilled open canal is a fatal situation. I'm very nervous about our open canals. So if we have flooding, put it in your head now. It's a dangerous situation to be driving in flooded roads, especially in Jefferson Parish with our open canals. And we want to be a good neighbor, and we do not want to drive through flooded streets and push water into people's homes when the storm didn't push it into their homes, but we did because we went too fast down the street. So we have to be good neighbors about that. We have the risk that you all have heard all day long: high winds, rain, potential for flooding, and power outages. So we do have Entergy here. We have Jimmy Aiken. He'll be here to discuss the preparations, but we know not only is it a storm event for us, but we have water system, sewer system, and the consequences of no electricity, okay? Remember, the ground is very saturated from last week's, the heavy rain events that we had last week, which may mean that more trees might fall quicker, power lines might, get out of their original position, but we're going into the storm with saturated grounds. Okay, for parish operations, I want to say that tomorrow will be open for government offices, are going to be open tomorrow. However, so our departments can focus on storm prep, we're canceling all the programming. So the employees are going to be there, the buildings are going to be open, but I don't want our employees also having to do a regular day and the yoga class, or I think there was a cocktail event at the library. All of those extra programming is going to we're not going to have it. The government will be open tomorrow, okay? And the buildings will be open. However, Wednesday, Jefferson Parish government will be closed, with the exception of the people who are working the storm. To our citizens, Jefferson Parish offices and the regular stuff that we do every day is going to be closed. We're going to have a small team from our animal welfare, the JPAWS team, the animal shelter, will be staying in tomorrow and Wednesday night for the safety of our animals. So we're going to have people housed there. The shelter is going to be closed to the public tomorrow and Wednesday, and we'll only be addressing the emergencies, all right? There will be no garbage collection on Wednesday, and the landfill's also going to be closed on Wednesday. So after your regular garbage pickup, remember, we want you to quickly secure those garbage bins. Don't leave them out on the street. Pick them up and put them next to your house where it belongs. And then transit's going to operate on a normal schedule until the winds reach a sustained 35 miles per hour or greater. And that time they're required to stop service on elevated roads and bridges. So as usual, transit tries to stay out as long as they can by their rules, and then they have to come in. So our phone number at the Emergency Operations Center, I want everybody to have it, is 504-349-5460. A true life-threatening emergency, call 911. But if something's blocking a road or a tree's down, you want to let us know, you want to make sure we know about that, give us a call at the Emergency Operations Center, 504-349-5460. And remember, now is the time, if you haven't joined our text, it's important, and we're going to send out important messages. You text JP Alert to 888-777, or for our Spanish-speaking citizens, JP Noticias to 888-777. Okay, with that, we have a lot of speakers with a lot of good information. So first up, I'll call up our Sheriff of Jefferson Parish, Joseph Lapinto. Sheriff?
Thank you, Madam President. We had a meeting this morning with our staff. We are ready, as always, to assist. 911 is up and operational, and will continue to be throughout the storm. In Jefferson Parish, remember, emergency and non-emergency, all calls go through 911. If you need police, fire, or medical, we ask anybody to call. We'll be up and running the entire time. In addition to that, all of our equipment is up and operational, whether we need it here for citizens in Jefferson Parish, or if we need to assist any of our other law enforcement partners throughout our region. Y'all, I'm going to be real brief unless y'all have any specific questions. If the storm continues to come our way, I'm sure y'all see a lot of me before then. But as always, JPSO is here to help y'all with anything y'all need. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, as you know, we have 7 council offices who have very active staff during this time, during storms, and they're out quickly driving through their districts. I want to ask our Chairman, Scott Walker, to speak on behalf of the council members. Chairman Walker?
Thank you, Madam President. The important thing to remember, a few important things to remember, but the most important thing to remember is we've been here before. This isn't our first rodeo, and we're ready for whatever comes our way. Obviously, it's a cliche, but you prepare for the worst and you hope for the best, and that's where we are right now. It's important during an event like this to make sure that you get accurate information from reliable news sources, and don't believe every Facebook meteorologist out there and fall for old maps or old spaghetti plots or old forecasts from whenever. It happens every hurricane, and it's something that we see all the time, and it takes a lot of time when you have to diffuse rumors to go along with the correct information that's being put out. So make sure you get that information from reliable sources, and you can count on us and the media outlets that are here right now to do that. Also important to have patience during an event like this. No matter what happens, nothing's here yet, nothing will be here for a little while, but I stopped at Sam's earlier today, and people are already at their wits' end, and they're fighting in the parking lot, honking at each other, and it wasn't a pretty scene. And we're only in crowds right now. We don't even have the weather to talk about. So give everybody a little bit of extra patience as you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with. I know it's difficult, but stay calm. Don't freak out. Keep people calm around you, and everything will be fine, and we'll be good on the other end of this. But right now, again, we prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Jefferson Parish is ready. All of our council offices here have staffs that are on the standby and ready to assist in their districts or across the parish. The offices, the parish offices may be closed on Wednesday and maybe beyond, but we are monitoring emails all the time. We're monitoring phone messages all the time, so please reach out should you need anything. We are a conduit to the services that you need. We can get directly in touch with Entergy. We can get directly in touch with AT&T, Cox, whomever it may be, wherever you may need help. We can hopefully speed up that process a little bit for you. So if you need us, we are here. Please reach out. And we have a council meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's not our usual council meeting setup. It's usually on Wednesdays. This meeting was moved to a Tuesday, not because of the storm, but it's scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. At the Yenny Building on the East Bank. So that meeting is going to go on as scheduled.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, next, our Director of Emergency Management, Joe Valiente.
Thank you, Madam President, and good afternoon, everyone. So as the Parish President indicated, we are going to go to partial activation tonight, so we'll have some coordinators here looking at the 10 p.m. and the 4 a.m. advisories, and for that matter. And that way, we'll have some good situational awareness when we come and start the morning. We'll go to full activation tomorrow afternoon, and the EOC will be completely up. Both teams, A and B teams, will be here. Today, we spent the entire day and yesterday. We conducted our crisis action team call yesterday, and that is select parish leaders that are part of that, with the parish president, and we basically laid out what our battle rhythm was going to be for today. We spoke with the mayors, we spoke with the council, and we had our JP leadership call, which is state and local agencies, and that call has over 100 individuals on it. And basically, we're just giving them what the update was, the situational awareness, what our recommendations were, and what direction the parish was going in. Also, we notified all parish directors, and they are notified and on standby, and their roles and expectations were identified. So they have specific tasks that they have to perform in the pre-hurricane mode, and we just wanted to make sure that they were on task with that. We also spoke with the Louisiana National Guard, and they are on standby, activated and standby in Abbeville, so they're just one phone call away. So we'll have access to their manpower and their resources if we need it. Typically, Grand Island, Lafayette gets the lion's share of those type of resources and their heavy equipment. But we also spoke, I think I mentioned it, but we also spoke with the mayors individually, and we understand what their needs were. And we've already actually pushed resources to Lafayette so they can get ready for the rise in water. We spoke with Atmos Energy and the East and West levee protection officials. They're all on board. They are all on the pre-hurricane prep mode. One message I want to leave with everyone is this is not going to be a major storm, but it's going to be a heavy rain and it's going to be a wind event. So take the time this evening and tomorrow to hurricane your proof as much as possible. Hurricane your home as much as possible. Make sure you got a full tank of gas when you start. That it's a reasonable expectation that we're going to lose power for Wednesday and probably even into Thursday, depending on the level of damage that's sustained from the storm. So you may not be able to get gas for a couple of days. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you call us here at the EOC, 504-349-5360. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Next, we have Chief Administrative Assistant Sarah Babcock.
Hello. As the Parish President mentioned, we will be opening Terrytown Recreation Center as a shelter for individuals who do not have stable housing such as a mobile home or trailer and need a safe place to ride out the storm. So that location will be open at 4 o'clock tomorrow on Tuesday. As we mentioned, we will provide cots, MREs, and water, no additional services until post-storm if they become necessary. And so people are encouraged to bring their own supplies for that time period. You are welcome to bring pets if needed. If you have medical needs and are going to require extra assistance from the parish, we do still have a medical needs registry that you can enroll on online by going to jeffparish.gov/JPAware or by calling 504-323-1818. We've also been in communication all day with all of our healthcare facilities and partners, so our hospitals, our nursing homes, our dialysis facilities. It's important that if you have medical needs, that you make sure any electrically dependent medical equipment is charged and ready to go. Tonight, tomorrow morning, you should refill medications, make sure you have everything you need. And if you are on dialysis, it's important to be in contact with your provider because many of those clinics may need to close on Wednesday or Thursday. So make sure you talk to your provider to make sure you can get treatment tomorrow or immediately following the storm. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, next, from our Jefferson Parish School System, Dr. James Gray.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon. We've been meeting with our teams the past few days, just trying to figure out how we're going to navigate this process once again. And we want to make sure that we get our teams out to try to secure campuses as much as we possibly can. A lot of people may not remember, but we're still going through idle repairs and remediation, so we're trying to make sure that we secure everything down. Our plant managers are getting out to schools, assessing everything, locking everything down. Partners that we have working on our buildings are doing the same. And what we want to do is just make sure that the public truly understands that it takes a couple of days sometimes for us to kind of get up and running because our average age of our buildings is like 60 years old. So on normal weather events, we lose electricity and sometimes plumbing or water or something like that. So we're expecting possibly to be dealing with some of the same. So as a result, there's going to be two phases of these closures. The first is going to be Lower Jefferson with the two schools in Lafayette, Kerner, and Fisher High and Grand Isle will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. And all the remaining schools in Jefferson Parish will be closed for Wednesday and Thursday. And what we want to do is just make sure that after the storm we can get to our buildings, assess the type of damage that we have, and see what we have to do to make sure we can get our kids back in our buildings as quickly as we possibly can. Again, this is fluid information. Anything can change between now and then, so please make sure you pay attention to our website, the news, social media, and things of that nature, and we'll keep parents and the community updated as much as we possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gray. So all of our 43 departments have been busy today, but I really wanted to call out our Director of Public Works, who oversees so many of those departments: water, sewer, roads, traffic. Mark Drews.
Thank you, Madam President. Public Works is ready. We've already tested all our equipment, which includes all our backup generators, so we're ready to go. But the most important asset that we have is the ability to activate 700 Public Works employees to respond to the aftermath of the storm. In their experience, almost all of them have been through several storms. With regard to each department, we'll start with water. Our East and West Bank plants have safe houses where the employees can go so they can operate the system during the storm and after the storm. In addition, they have a 5-day supply of fuel on hand for their backup generator so we can survive an extended energy outage. Similar, wastewater treatment plants have that same 5-day supply of fuel to survive an extended outage. In addition to that, we have portable generators and portable pumps ready to go to put out in the field, where we have our lift stations out in the field for any outages to keep that system in operation, and we have the ability to bring in vacuum trucks as necessary. With regard to streets, engineering, parkways, we'll be ready after the storm. We have people that will go out, do reconnaissance, and we'll immediately start clearing roadways. We can cut trees as long as they're not tangled up in energy power lines, and we can start restoring traffic signals if they're damaged. With regard to drainage, we have 192 out of our 194 pumps in operation. We have one pump that's out and it's on order for a new pump down in Lafayette at Oak Street Pump Station, but we have a temporary pump in place so the capacity is still up to par. The other pump that is out is the Falcon Street Pump Station that pumps into Pontiff Park. We're trying to repair that one and get it done before the storm, but we already have a temporary pump in place so that we can still pump in the event that we need to. It's important to remember that all of my public works departments have the ability, if necessary, to bring in additional forces. We have contracts in place so that we can up that manpower if necessary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. We're lucky to have a lot of partners with us, and we know for you to get your life back to normal post-storm, it takes more than just the government. So we have with us representatives from our utilities companies. Entergy Customer Service Manager Jimmy Aiken is here, as well as Atmos Energy Public Affairs Manager Leah Obi. So I want to invite both of them up to the microphone.
Thank you, Madam President. Entergy is closely monitoring developments in the Gulf, and we stand ready to respond. This is an event that we prepare for year-round, and our crews are ready to restore service as quickly and safely as possible once the storm passes. We want our customers to stay prepared, stay safe, and stay in touch. Now is the time to get ready for this storm. We encourage you to get your emergency kits and supplies in place, especially if there's a prolonged outage, power outage. We also encourage you to stay in touch with us throughout the duration of the storm. You can download the Entergy app. You can use the app to report outages and check on the status of power at your home or business. Please ensure that all of your information is up to date in the app and that it's accurately entered within our system. In addition to the app, you can follow us on social media via Facebook at Entergy Louisiana and Twitter or X as Entergy LA. Remember, the most dangerous part of the storm is after it's passed. Please stay clear of any and all down infrastructure. In the event that you encounter our crews working, please keep a safe distance for not only your safety, but for our crew's safety as well. We will continue to work closely with Jefferson Parish throughout the event and provide updates as needed. We hope everyone stays safe during this time. Thank you.
Good evening. At Atmos Energy, we prepare year-round for weather events. We do have crews on standby and willing to respond with a specific emphasis on safety. If you suspect a natural gas leak or smell natural gas inside the home or your neighborhood, please act fast. Leave the area immediately, and from a safe distance, call 911 and the Atmos Energy emergency number, which is 1-866-322-8667. Atmos Energy service technicians are emergency responders who ensure the safe operation of its system, performing essential services in compliance with safety rules and regulations. If any customers experience an interruption in service, Atmos Energy essential workers will restore service once local conditions are deemed safe. Whether it is a storm or flooding or other severe weather events, please observe these tips to stay safe. During a natural disaster or severe weather event, do not turn off natural gas at the meter, even if evacuations are issued. If you smell gas, immediately leave the affected area and from a safe distance, call 911 or Atmos Energy's 24-hour emergency response line. And that number is 1-866-322-8667. Never try to find the source of a gas leak. Do not use a mobile phone or anything that might cause a spark, such as a generator. If flooding occurs at a residence or a business and the gas appliances are underwater, do not try to operate the appliances. Instead, contact Atmos Energy or a qualified service professional to conduct a safety inspection. If a natural gas meter is damaged or a gas line is exposed, immediately leave the area and call the Atmos Energy 24-hour emergency response line, and that number again is 1-866-322-8667. Know where your natural gas meter is located. Make sure it's visible and free of trash and debris. Mechanical equipment used to clean up after a storm may damage the meter if it is hidden. Natural gas distribution pipelines are mostly underground, but can be damaged by uprooted trees and shifted foundations. After a storm, please call 811 to have the location of underground utility lines marked, as gas service lines could become tangled. Atmos Energy customers experiencing a natural gas outage or other service interruption should contact the company's customer service number. Again, that's 1-888-286-6700. Customers will be restored as quickly as possible once the area is deemed safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And as has been said, sometimes it's the post-storm that is the most dangerous. We certainly saw that for Ida. And nobody knows that better than our first responders. So our Director of West Bank Fire Services, Chief Don Robertson, and our Director of East Bank Consolidated Fire Department, Chief Charlie Hudson.
Thank you, Madam President. As we said, Chief Sheriff Lapinto said that the emergency services in Jefferson Parish are prepared. We are prepared. We have staged special equipment. Chief Hudson will speak about that afterwards. And we are here to help the citizens of Jefferson Parish. As the parish president just said, we always do well during a storm. It's always post-storm that we have our problems. Down power lines, flooded streets, and when the power goes out, people want to use generators. If you are going to use a generator, make sure it is at least 15 feet from your residents. Not by any open windows, not by any open doors, not in your garage. Please, if you're gonna use your generator, have a carbon monoxide detector that works in your house. Carbon monoxide is odorless, it's colorless, and it is the silent killer. Please be safe if you're gonna use a generator. Chief Hudson.
Thank you. Your East Bay Fire Department has been busy starting off at 7 o'clock this morning, getting our equipment ready and put it in place. We've got some high water assets that were new for us this year. Thanks to the sheriff, we had some big vehicles that we were able to use for flooded events and be able to rescue people if it comes to that. We've got some boat resources we place strategically throughout our area so we're able to respond quickly. Also, as he's talking about electrical lines, we want to treat all power lines as they're hot lines. Don't guess, don't question it. If something's down, treat it as a hot power line and report that to 911 immediately so we can respond and make that an isolated area. The storm could be a very deadly event because of those type of situations, so let's be ready, let's report things, and let's get our responders out there as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Okay, and our last two speakers, we're fortunate to be protected, like I say, our perimeter protection, but it's really regional protection. So I want to thank them for being here and discussing all their preparations that they've been busy with. So the Chief of Operations for the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority West, Jesse Noel, and the Director of Engineering for Flood Protection Authority East, Chris Humphreys.
Thank you, Madam President. The Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority West is prepared and stands ready to operate the flood protection system. All of our systems are working as designed, and we have confidence in our system. We expect to start closing non-essential floodgates on Peters Road tomorrow morning and hope to have the remainder of the necessary components of the system closed as soon as 8 p.m. tomorrow night based on the current forecast. This includes the sector gate at the Harvey Canal, the sector gate on Bayou Signet, and the Highway 45 floodgate. We ask citizens to pay attention to local authorities and heed their warnings and to stay off levees and waterways where we are working. Additionally, we do not intend, based on the current forecast, to operate the West Closure Complex, but that can change with the shift in trajectory. For information on gate closures, follow the Southeast Louisiana Flood Protection Authority West on Facebook and X, or visit our website at slfpaw.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. The Flood Protection Authority East has been busy all day planning gate closures and executing some in Orleans Parish. Good news is we do not see the levels in the lake coming to a level that would require any roadway gate closures in Jefferson Parish. We will manage the PCCP pump station as needed. We anticipate having to close those gates and pump down 17th Street Canal when it's needed. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can call our Emergency Operations Center, 504-286-3140. We will stand up our EOC tomorrow and maintain it throughout the duration of the storm, at least through Thursday evening. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take questions, but just I want to encourage everybody, we will be giving briefings tomorrow again. Obviously, this depends on what happens, so just stay in touch with us for the next briefing that we'll have. Are there any questions for any of our speakers? Yes.
It's maybe obvious, but I assume that the reason the meeting was moved to Tuesday was this trip to DC. I assume you and other elected officials are likely not going anymore, or curious sort of if that's still in the works.
Talking about the council meeting.
Just repeat the question. I was
I
talking
was
about
wondering,
it.
I understand there was a trip to DC planned for some lobbying.
Yeah, the chamber fly-in is planned. I was not going on the trip. I was not attending, so I'm not going, and I don't know what the status of other people who are going is, if anybody wants to speak on that.
I think it's individual decisions. I know I will be staying.
I will be staying, and Steve Lachute will be staying, so the operations side will all be staying, so, yes.
I have a question. So I know your shelter is going to be for people who have mobile homes. What about the homeless population? Are they able to come to the shelter?
I'll let Sarah, we've discussed that and with the partnership with Human Services Authority, but I'll let Sarah give more update on that.
Yeah, so the Jefferson Parish Human Services Authority will be going out tomorrow morning to engage individuals who are homeless and maybe on the streets. But yes, if you are homeless and need a place to stay, you can also come to the Tarrytown Playground site. And anyone with questions about that site can also call our EOC at 504-349-5360.
And we do proactively go out and look for people. It's not like we require them to call. I mean, Human Services Authority has staff. They know many of these people, they know where they stay, so they proactively go out and try to find them, just so you know. Any other questions? Okay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.